on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Hey! All right, let's go. It's a Thursday. In the Bureau, that is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Proud to support them. They always support us here on this show and elsewhere. Welcome in on a Thursday. And look, oh, man, listen, Thursday this time of year. Well, okay, listen, I don't need to come across as complaining to begin the show, do I? I'm not complaining. Like, it's a day of the week. What are you going to do about that? Okay, so let me phrase it the right way. Thursday is the new Wednesday. Let's put it that way. Because football season, Wednesday's the day that you generally are like, oh, man. Because you're reviewed for 2 days and recapped and reacted on for 2 days on Monday and then Tuesday. And then you're going to have games on Thursday, high school, JUCO, college games on Thursdays, NFL games on Thursdays. Then on Friday, you're recapping those and previewing high school football, and you're 1 day away from kickoff. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Baseball season, when it's full-on baseball season and basketball is winding up, like high school's done. What do you call it? I don't even really call the NBA basketball season. I don't know what that is. It's not even really basketball. It's pitiful. Not as pitiful as the WNBA, though. It's pitiful. But college basketball is pretty awesome. The thing is, though, now it's all done for pretty much everybody but 4 teams. No games until Saturday. All 1 seeds made it because of pay for play and wide open transfer, so it's kind of boring unless you're a fan of those teams. I realize I'm just speaking for myself here. And no midweek baseball, right? That's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Occasionally you get a Thursday baseball series starting. And like Ole Miss is going to start today. That's the silver lining for today, is that Ole Miss is going to start a series today. But other than that, I mean, that's it. It's a dead day. This is the turn the page day. What are we going to do? What was it Pete said in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? What are we going to do? Hey, Pete.
Hey, Matt White.
How you is on a Thursday?
Man, I'm doing all right.
Thursday is kind of the hump day of baseball season, don't you think? I mean, the Braves don't play. Jake Mangum doesn't play until tomorrow.
It's a good thing the Braves don't play. You don't want to watch the Braves.
Gosh. Is that not ugly or what? 0-7, brother. Did you see the walk-off by Ohtani last night, or did you see the highlight of it?
Yeah.
That guy.
I was literally just about to say that guy, because what else can you say?
Oh,
it is insane.
He is must-watch television. Beaver, you know who right now in all of Major League Baseball, there are 2 guys who are must-watch TV. One is Shohei Ohtani, and the other is Jake Mangum. Right?
Yeah, big time. Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it.
What was Ohtani last year? 50-50?
Oh, yeah.
Jake Mangum's going 60-60.
Yeah, well, it's soon. Maybe not this year, but soon. Well, yeah, Ohtani, like he's on just a different level. In that situation last night, you knew it was coming. You knew before he went up there, and he didn't even wait. It's the first pitch. Walk off. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, the Braves, historically bad start. They're 0-7 And I don't know who to even trust anymore in terms of sports reporting. Beav, I tried to go read some stuff about it because I don't have like a thing I subscribe to religiously or whatever, and I try to go read some stuff. You have to look it up. And like one place will go, this is the first time ever the Braves have started 0-7. And then somebody else goes, well, the Braves started 0-11 back in 1988. I'm like, I don't know what to believe. I just know that 0-7 is bad. And they also say that no team, Beaver, has ever made the playoffs starting the season 0-7. So, this may be one of those years it feels like it used to feel when I was a kid, little kid. I'm talking kindergarten, first grade age, growing up in the 80s, watching the Braves on TBS, knowing they were a losing team. And that was kind of the reputation, is they were just going to lose a lot. And then, of course, then began the winning in the 90s, and they never really stopped, it seemed like. So maybe they're back to that. Don't want to. The man said, hey, you don't want to watch the Braves play. Not after lunch. Well, okay. Beav, listen. Thursday this time of year is the nothing day. There's just nothing happening today. Other than mad compliments being thrown at me and you on the Country Pleasing text line. Did you read that? From
Bodine Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe it? Do you believe he really believes that, or you think he's being sarcastic?
You know what? He's said these words before, so I think he believes them.
Okay.
I don't know how true they are in the universe, but as long as they're true to Bodine Dog, that's what matters right this minute.
That's all that matters. Bodine Dog, the first to get in today on the Country Pleasing text line, and the number to text is 885-3776. I'm not giving you the acronym anymore, even though this show via this station loosely still associated with them. I'm done with them. I'm not even saying their name, not promoting it in any way. I will no longer watch any programming on the acronym, and that's a heck of a sacrifice for a sports fan. Ain't happening. So far, I'm good. So far, I'm good. But, so the number to text, 885-3776. Bodine Dog says, Matt, I just want to thank you and Beaver for the best sports radio show. He says, I always listen to the radio on 105.9 on the big planet Earth. I've heard them all. You and Beaver the best. Thanks, from Bodine Dog. Woo! Hey, listen, because of that compliment, Bodine Dog, today is a win. No matter what happens on this show today and what we do say or don't say, no matter what happens, today is a win because of that compliment. I really do appreciate it. Hey, look here. Grumpy texts the show on the Country Pleasing text. Matt, can your listeners get a Jake update about the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday? Just kindly ask Beaver to tune out for a few minutes. He knows he's kidding. He said LOL. Then he said, Grumpy, how about the Dodgers? 8-0. Yeah, so historic start for the Dodgers one way. Historic start for the Braves in another way. And, yeah, that's just – so what, though? So what? It is a long season. It's a long way to go. Streaks can happen. You can go on a losing streak. It just happens to be one at the beginning of the year. Maybe they'll turn it around. We don't know. You have to keep watching to find out. All 162 games matter. There will be better stretches. Maybe beginning tomorrow when they have their first home game. Well, we can hope for that, right? If you're a Braves fan. Yep. I think Major League Baseball is coming back. I think it's on the way back up. Lots of reasons for it. It's pretty interesting, too. But I think it's on the way back up. I know this. I know college baseball is skyrocketing. Like, it's just been on a tremendous uphill trajectory ever since streaming services started opening it up, to fan bases to be able to connect with their baseball teams in college more. So I know that, but I think MLB is on the way back up. Several reasons for that. We got plenty of time to cover that. Right now, hit the button. Let's go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Mortgage Man Group right here in Mississippi, powered by Illuminate Bank. Anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing, anything in between, that's where you go. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. The Dallas Cowboys and their search for a quarterback. See what it did there? A backup has ended. They have traded for Joe Milton, former Michigan Wolverine, and then Tennessee Volunteer, and then New England Patriot after getting himself drafted. I think he got drafted. 7th round. He was a 7th round pick. So he did get drafted. He's uber talented. He just never did really hone it all and didn't hang on to starting jobs at either place he was in college. So development kind of got stunted, but super duper athletic talent. And the Patriots have traded him away to the Cowboys. And so there he is. Joe Milton is going to be Dak Prescott's backup. Did I tell you a 7th round pick? Hang on a second. Hang on. The Cowboys acquired Milton and a 7th round pick this year from the Patriots for a 2025 5th round pick. What about Milton? Was he drafted out of Tennessee? Hang on, I'll tell you. Yeah, 6th round, not 7th round. He got picked in the 6th round out of Tennessee, so he was drafted and played a little bit. So he's headed off to Dallas to be Dak's backup, and we shall see how that goes. Yeah, and so mentioned it. Walk-off home run last night for the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, hot as a firecracker. They are 8-0 historically, and the Braves historically the other way are 0-7 to start the year. Let's see, the Dodgers at 8-0 tops the 1933 Yankees of Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth for the longest winning streak to begin a season for the reigning champion. Meanwhile, Braves 0-7. That's a record that no team has ever recovered from to make the playoffs. Now, look, I realize there's 162 games. Things can change, but that's saying a lot. And those are your headlines. One more headline. Ole Miss going to play baseball. They begin their road series for the weekend tonight. So they're Thursday through Saturday for Ole Miss. They're at Kentucky. I believe we have a 6 Central first pitch between Rebels and Wildcats tonight up there in Lexington. Elsewhere, LSU and Oklahoma begin their series tonight. That's also a 6 p.m. first pitch out of Norman. So there you go. And that's your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group here in Mississippi, powered by Illuminate Bank. Check them out, mortgagemanms.com. All right, let me get caught up here too. Sven, he's weighing in now. He is weighing in on the live stream. He's on YouTube. Sven is a big State fan over in Berlin, Germany. He says, Hail State, everybody. Day one of the transfer portal is open. 1,600 plus basketball players have entered. Kirby tells the media he's getting offered from different players over Zoom. Hey, you want this guy? What about that guy? You want this one? He's a good one. He said, what's wrong here? And then he says, money, money, money. Now, more facts. Sven says another fact. Florida needs between $12 to $15 million to hold on to their basketball roster. Says if they don't pay that, those Florida players are going to leave. Said, what's wrong here? Money, money, money. Fact number 3 from Sven. Mississippi State is not a playoff baseball team. McPherson did well on the mound, and so was Sullivan, but that's midweek. And then he says, and I quote, I'm done with our coaches. And that's Sven. And one more thing from Sven. Fact number 4. Jake Mangum showed good old Paul Skeens why State beat him in 2023 and the Tigers. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Had a win over LSU back then. It was pretty rare when he was there. But, yeah, he stepped in there opposite field. Kind of looked like 𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬. Little slap single the other way early in the count. 1 for 4 day yesterday for Jake, so he cooled off a little bit. The Pirates won the game. Rays begin a weekend series at the Rangers tomorrow. So this will actually be the first time Jake will have played a major league game in an actual major league ballpark tomorrow, because all the home games for Tampa, are in the minor league park down there. Oh, what else we got? Let's see. Hale State fan. He's an Astros guy. He says, my Astros have scored 12 runs in 6 games so far this season, and I'm already thinking our season is over. Yeah, well, try this. Try 14 runs in 7 games for the Braves. I think that's the way I added it up. I think it was 14 runs in 7 games. Yeah, look, I don't know. I look forward to the Masters. If you're a Braves fan, just look forward to the Masters. And as soon as Strider and Acuna get back, maybe 1 or 2 more, then all of a sudden the prospects pick up game to game. I don't know. You do a bad year every now and then. Maybe like the stock market. When it's down, buy low, sell high. Now's the time to buy. They're coming up. Nowhere to go but up. Real unnamed texter on the Country Pleasing text line. Dodgers are going undefeated this year. Our only hope is Jake Mangum. I'm following Jake. I don't mind that other people aren't like me. It doesn't really seriously bother me or even hinder me that some of my friends, and even maybe like Beaver, are tired of all of my Jake Mangum talk and updates. But I'm just being honest with you. That's where I am right now. I could change. Maybe it flips. I don't know. But I got a little Dak thing going on. It's like when Dak wound up with the Cowboys and quickly earned their starting job, I had never paid attention to the Cowboys, didn't care. I say didn't pay attention. I watched their games, knew about them. It just, I wasn't a fan. Didn't care if they won or lost. It bothered me one way or the other. Didn't go out of my way to watch them. I've watched as much Cowboys football as I can watch since Dak got there, and it's all because of him. I'm doing the same thing now with the Rays because of Jake Mangum. Pulling up their games, watching them, watching the recaps, the replays. I want to see his at-bats. I'm just being honest. I'm a big fan. Sue me. Tiger Bait texts the show. Says it's a 162-game season. Everyone needs to relax. The Braves will be fine. Go put $100 on them to still win the division. Is that what you're saying, Tiger Bait? From a gambling perspective, buy low? Yeah. Why would you do that? Think of all the other good things you could do with that $100 besides lighting a match to it by betting it on the Braves. Think about all the other things productive and helpful you could do with that $100. But I'm not preaching. I'm not telling you what to do either. Grumpy texts the show again. He says, Matt, did you happen to catch the values of major league teams? I didn't see that. Let's see. Yankees $8.2 billion. Dodgers $6.8. Tampa $1.5. But where does the 1.5 fall on the list of all the franchises? Is 1.5 billion for the Rays at the bottom? Everybody else in between? Hunter, he texts Country Pleasing text line. He says, Matt, I'm a big fan of your stories. I was wondering if you had a funny story about a bus ride trip with the team. He says, for me, during high school baseball playoffs, our bus broke down. We had to wait for the parents to arrive. He said, I remember waiting for what felt like an hour, arriving late to the game, and we lost. Yeah, then you have something to blame it on, right? If you had that kind of trouble. Bus ride. Funny bus ride. Bus ride story. No, it's not funny, but one thing that does stand out, one year we were playing at Georgia, and this would be the day before the game. We flew in there on a Friday. We were playing on a Saturday. And, the buses come and pick us up at the airport when our plane landed in Atlanta. And so we're on these big buses with a police escort headed to Athens. And some of the police escort were motorcycle cops. And one of those guys ran into our bus. Yeah. I was kind of sitting close enough I could see one of the side mirrors was the side mirror on the passenger side opposite the driver, but I could kind of see it happen a little bit. But you could certainly hear it and feel it. And it was amazing because we're going really fast. And for whatever reason, I don't know if he got squeezed in there or what, but just bam, he hits the bus and wobbled but never wrecked and regained his balance and then went right onto the front and kept leading us on to Athens. That's the only time that ever happened in about 5 years of those bus trips from airports to game hotels. And we had another time we were playing in Little Rock. We stayed at the Peabody in downtown Little Rock. And we woke up the next morning, day of the game to go, and Everett was all mad because some Arkansas fans had gone out there and spray painted like pig suey and all this kind of stuff, spray painted red paint on the side of the bus. Everett was furious because he knew he was going to have to clean all that off. I think we won. I don't remember. Too long ago. All right. Just getting started. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up through a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Hey! All right, back with you. I'm Matt. Beaver is here, and therefore you can call us. We can get to hear your voice. I hope you do. Call me on the Davini phone. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. The oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S., in fact. It means Davini's been doing it better, longer than anybody else right here at home at Davini. The number to call, 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Back over on the live stream on YouTube, Hail State Fan says, I know we're a few years away, but I hope MSU Hoops can land Eric Dampier Jr. So where's he? MRA? What class is he right now, Hail State Fan? How many years we got? I mean, can they get him eligible quick? Hail State Fan said, in high school, my girlfriend and best friend were in a band and snuck me on the bus headed to a concert at MTSU, and the bus broke down. We had to switch buses, and I was nervous. I wasn't called. You know, yeah, that'd be like a lot of our luck, Hail State Fan. Some bus ride you're not supposed to be on, you're sneaking, and bus breaks down. Middle of nowhere. Yeah. How'd it turn out? Nick, he texted us. He said the Braves need a quick series with Mississippi State to get back on track. John, JB, the real John Bond. He says, oh, yeah, I think you're right, John. Okay, back up. I told the story about the bus getting painted at Arkansas. We were staying, I think it was the Peabody downtown, wasn't it, John? We were playing in Little Rock. And day of the game, wake up, Everett's fuming mad because some Arkansas people had taken red spray paint and tried to do their own little artwork on the sides of the bus. And Everett's mad because it's more than the razzing. It's the fact that he's going to have to scrub all that paint off the bus. Okay. And John says he thinks that's the same Arkansas trip where we were flying back late that night into GTR and we had a really rough landing. The plane was like, I'm going to, so how many years, John? 25 years ago? I'm going to describe it the way I remember it. Now, you see if this lines up, because you know how it is, right? Over time, we remember things wrong sometimes. The way I remember it is he couldn't see because it was cloudy, foggy, very close to the ground, low to the ground. And it was one of those deals where we couldn't even realize we were about to land, because outside of the window of the plane, all you could see is clouds, fog. I mean, you thought you were 10,000 feet up. You didn't realize the ground's right there. All of a sudden, the ground just shows up. And I think he realized he was about to kind of overshoot the runway a little bit. So he just dropped that plane out of the sky and bam! I'm talking about boom, and this thing's wobbling. And when it hit the ground, that initial drop to get the wheels on the ground, overhead compartments are opening and stuff's flying. There's a few oxygen masks popped out. And John says Coach Sherrill's stuff got thrown all over the plane. I mean, there's paper and folders and crap everywhere. It was just guys hollering. And I remember too, I don't think I was sitting back there, but I remember hearing other people talk about hearing Mr. Crystal when that happened, that he was livid. He was ready to let them have it. So that was the same trip, huh? I wouldn't be surprised. Grumpy texts the show. Okay, so he brought up, I didn't see the list, but he was saying the values of the major league teams, major league franchises. He gave a couple of examples. Yankees at $8.2 billion, Dodgers at $6.8, Tampa at $1.5 billion in terms of their worth. And my question was 1.5 at the bottom? But it's not. It's near the bottom. It's not at the bottom. He said he looked it up. Miami, so the Marlins at $1.05 billion. They're number 30 on the list. Tampa at 29, so they're one spot in front of them at $1.5 billion. The Rangers were at number 12, for example, $2.5 billion in their worth, and the Braves number 8 overall at $3 billion in terms of their worth. That's pretty interesting. And Grumpy, think about that. Okay, so I just had a thought. It is sort of a backup thought to another thought I had as I was watching some Major League Baseball last night. I flipped it over. I watched the Mets and the Marlins finish out an 11-inning game, which is neat to watch the extra innings deal where they start the innings off with a runner on second base, try to get it over with. It's neat. I like it. But anyway, I watched that. I flipped over there. I'm watching it. And I don't know, it just kind of hit me. And the same thought here when I look at your numbers is, even though you don't have a situation in Major League Baseball where there's like an even revenue type of deal, yeah, there's a big skew when you're talking about Yankees that as an organization and a franchise are worth $8.2 billion, and they're competing in the same division with Tampa, who as a team franchise are worth $1.5 billion. Yankees 8 times or 7 or 8 times worth more than Tampa, yet they're competing. Okay. But baseball being a quirky sport, sure, things can happen. That's one of the reasons you like baseball. But the other thing is, from a fan perspective, Grumpy, still the whole model, everything about it kind of makes sense. Right? Like you can turn on a pro baseball game, and even though it may be teams that you don't necessarily root for all the time, and it's a little obscure, and maybe, you're not fully invested in the outcome. You turn it on. I'll say me. I turned it on, and as a sports fan, I look at it, and it makes sense to me. It all makes sense. Like perfect sense. That guy is paid whatever his contract says, but he and the team negotiated. They both had a chance to agree or disagree. Once they both agree, they sign it. The contract, he has an agent. Okay, there are stipulations in a contract that in order to get that money, he had to agree to with the team. In other words, they've got his rights as a player for X amount of years. It's a legally binding contract that'll be held up in court because they got signatures on it and everything, right? And sure, over the years, you've had contract disputes, but by and large, the contract negotiation process in the free and fair and open market system that we have in America, that those contracts are legally binding according to the law, and therefore it all makes sense. They pay him. They both agree to the terms of the contract. They both probably had to compromise a little, get it done. He's playing for them. He plays for that team. They're trying to win. It all just makes sense to me. There's one guy whose contract is up. They're going to, let him walk. He'll hit free agency. There may be a trade. You can understand. It all makes sense. On both sides of it, it just makes sense. And sadly, that's the thing I think I'm struggling with as much as anything else regarding college sports on the whole, is that it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like there was a time when it did. When I would, turn on any college sporting event and you go, okay, let's take basketball, for example. Those players on that team, they're between the ages of 18 and 22. They are all likely on scholarship, meaning the school is paying their tuition, paying their books, their room and board, and feeding them, all of that stuff. In exchange, these kids play basketball for the team. It just kind of makes sense. Okay, he's got to make the grades to stay eligible, all this stuff. Okay, sure, there were instances in that old way of college sports sort of making sense. There were instances where people were outside the rules and stretching the boundaries and risking getting in trouble. Some did, some didn't, and you get all that. Okay, but by and large, the whole framework, it just kind of made sense. One side gets one thing, the other side gets the other. They both agreed to it on the front end and signed off on it. It just made sense. And what you have anymore, I can't turn it on and make the positive and the negative ends of the leads match. I can't make it plug in and make sense in my head. It doesn't make any sense. That, wait a minute, they don't have to stay. Okay, no, they don't have to stay. They are getting paid? Yes. By who? Well, right now it's by fan collection, and they're paying them to play for them. Yeah, but you're calling it NIL. Yeah, they kind of pass it off as that. But they don't have to stay. No, they can leave whenever they want. So you can play for 5 different schools in 5 years. Yeah. None of it can't. You just can't make it make any sense anymore. And it's hard for a simple-minded person like me to hang on to it. It didn't make any sense. That's why I like pro sports now. They make sense. Stick around.
At Davini, we are your hometown
I'm
Kubota
Eddie
dealer.
Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom.
On 1059.com.
Here we go. Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. Oh, okay, so we got to wait a while. Hale State fan said he thinks Eric Dampier Jr. is an 8th grader at MRA. Yeah, well, you are going to have to wait a few years. But the older we get, Hale State fan, the faster time goes by. So it'll be quicker than for us anyway. It won't seem that long. Okay, Sven said, I have a question. Who figures out what a franchise is worth? Sounds to me like a bit of clickbait. He says no outsider knows what's going on at the Rams, Cowboys, or Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, well, I don't know what they base it on. I mean, I don't know. Is it like if you were to sell it, here's the price tag you would put on it? I mean, is it just strictly hard numbers? I mean, they're privately owned though, right? So I don't guess you can get tax returns, but you could probably figure out revenue and expenditure and just go from there. That'd probably be the way to figure it, I guess. Yeah, but I'm the last person on earth that you would ever go to figure that stuff out. Hey, Jason out in Arizona, he says, talking about the plane stuff, he says the only issue I've ever seen was on leave from the Army one time. And a C-130 from Ramstein Air Force Base to Frankfurt sprung a huge hydraulic leak right at takeoff. U-turn right away. It says immediately, everybody, well, to quote Jason, immediately everybody was changing their drawers. I bet it did scare some people. Okay, Beaver, help me out here. Hunter texted the show and he said he just heard your Drango ad read. What's next? Leaping Larry's? Now, what's that all about?
Hunter. Nice reference. That's a Seinfeld reference.
Okay. So, Leaping Larry's. Give me the Seinfeld. Give me what I need to know if I missed that.
Okay, that's the episode where Jerry was talking to Leaping Larry about doing some endorsing for his show.
Okay.
And Leaping Larry had gotten injured in the war, so his legs didn't work, and Jerry was sitting there and his leg had fallen asleep, and he was walking around like limp, trying to shake his leg out, and Leaping Larry walked in and he thought he was making fun of him.
Okay.
And it's also that episode where the fire started and George wouldn't give his ATM code. Bosco.
Okay. Well, it's interesting to me too that, Beav, I wasn't a fan the first time around of Seinfeld. A fan, meaning watching it. I had appreciation for it. It was just, honestly, it's like during a time in my life, I'm doing other things. Okay. Now I've picked up on it recently, but not through all of it. I've just watched episodes sporadically, me and Annabeth kind of picking up on it. And it's interesting is you can watch as much as I've watched and have missed that already, or just haven't gotten to it yet. I don't know. But at the same time, people like you and Hunter, Beav, it's one thing for somebody to have that much recall on one show, like their favorite show. You have it with multiple shows. You have total recall on Seinfeld, on The Office. Are you that way with King of the Hill too?
No.
No? It's too many
No,
of them?
I am. Yeah. I did not. Actually, I didn't watch King of the Hill back in the day, every single week. It wasn't one of those shows for me.
Right.
I watched a bunch of them, but yeah. So I can't do that with a lot of King of the Hill.
Gotcha. Oh, let me explain to you something, Beav. You know how earlier today I asked you what is your favorite film score?
Yeah.
The reason is because today, April the 3rd, is National Film Score Day. And I wonder what you were going to say. You went with one of the Batman movies.
Yeah, because scores, they don't really do as much for me as soundtracks.
Right.
But scores, yeah, the Danny Elfman Batman scores, those were always good. Requiem for a Dream, which is, don't watch the movie, just listen to the song. Stuff like that. The classic Superman.
Yeah.
The Superman theme. So those are the, top. I don't pay attention to the scores, quite honestly, but those are some of the top ones that you can't help but notice for me.
I always kind of have paid attention. I like that stuff. For me, number one all-time Beaver is Ennio Morricone from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Now, hey, listen, Beav, this version I'm playing was performed live by the Danish Symphony Orchestra. That's what you're hearing right now. That was a woman doing the wah-wah thing. Now get this, the same woman that was doing the wah-wah is whistling. That's talent right there, Beav. In terms of iconic, that, the score was perfect for the movie, it fit, and then they both became sort of synonymous, and you can't have one without the other. Yeah, Yeah, so I'd go with that. Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And then from a sports perspective, the one at the end of The Natural. Which I think this is the Williams guy who did all the. I think it's the same guy. Hang on. No, I'm wrong. Beaver, I had forgotten this. You realize that all the music and this film score for The Natural composed and conducted by Randy Newman? Did you know that?
I did not.
Randy Newman, which I think I've told you this before. But I can't think of Randy Newman without thinking about that spoof that Family Guy did of him.
That old husband walking over.
Chewing on an apple. Red-headed lady. Oh, yeah, that Randy Newman. He composed and conducted everything for The Natural, which he's incredible. He absolutely is incredible. Now, Sven says, Matt, interested in Morricone stuff? Amira Wilhagen says, yeah, Once Upon a Time in the West, that song, Your Love. Next break, go to YouTube, watch it, it'll blow you away. I am going to do that. Willig Hagen, okay, so with a G in the middle there, which I certainly know what song you're talking about. And that was, Once Upon a Time in the West was director Sergio Leone, musical composer Ennio Morricone as well, just like the spaghetti westerns and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly and all those with Eastwood. Once Upon a Time in the West, and it's just an absolute masterpiece. Like it'll never get better than that. Mailman David said, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly also gave us the Modelo beer commercial song. Oh, it did? I'll have to look that one up. I'll have to look it up. Bill texts the show. Says, you hit one of my favorites, Matt. The score for The Natural was awesome. Moneyball, pretty good too. Master and Commander has to be in the top 5 as well. Plus, you can actually watch all those movies because they were good too. Oh, and Master Commander made me think about it. The original Gladiator. Go back and check out original film score stuff from the original Gladiator. It was really, really, really good. Happy National Film Score Day. Okay. Best baseball movie ever? The Natural? I think so. Hour 2 coming up right after this. In the Bureau, that is the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. You know, when I say they do quality stuff,
They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online, murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
WRKS Pickens Jackson. We are good to go. With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide. Now, here we go. At the Zone 105.9.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. I'm here. Beaver's here. Thank goodness Beaver's here. That way we're on the air. And you are here. Thank goodness you're here. Therefore, we got a reason to be here. Got a show, got the whole gang. And I appreciate you coming around, listening, and being a part of it. And if you would like to be a part of it, you can. Lots of different ways. You could comment on the live stream. You can, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or X, formerly Twitter, you could also text me or call me on the Divinity Equipment phone line. Call me on that number, 897-1059, 897-1059. That's the number to call. Number to text on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. Number to text is 885-3776. 885-3776. You can text me right there. I knew something was off about today. It's that I didn't have Country Pleasing at breakfast because I ate the last of it last night and forgot to thaw some out overnight. I knew I felt different today. But it's a good day nonetheless. Do y'all realize that it is the birthday of a very special person who every now and then we'll get a text or a phone call from somebody wanting to know how he's doing. Hey, where is he? Is he okay? What's up? How's he doing? Well, now we can ask him ourselves, because not only is he on the Divinity Equipment phone line, but it is Chicken Hawk's birthday. Chicken Hawk, how have you been? Happy birthday.
Man, look, you got some bad connection, man. I don't know. I'm out here driving with my fingers and toes, and Lou Bell's over here got her head out the window with her eyes closed. And I appreciate that phone call. I'm probably just going to have to talk because I can't hear y'all real good. But right. Beaver called me this morning on that special red line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the very few can get off to me like the president. And then right after he called, you know, you sent me that. So I just wanted to put my Hulkamania draws on and give a wave out there to my Hulkamaniacs and tell them I'm still alive. I love them. And I appreciate the folks who've been worried about me. But just left New South Spine, so that's a heck of a way to spend part of my birthday.
Bless your heart.
One more cutting probably, Bubba, and I'm going to be through, and hopefully it'll be fixed.
Oh, that'd be great. I hope it is. Well, it's just great to hear your voice, Chicken Hawk, and sure enough, from me and everybody listening, we wish you a happy birthday.
All right, brother. Look, I can't hear you. I'm going to try to call back. I don't know what's going on. See my phone or my hearing aids, but love y'all. Hell state, and keep your heads up.
Will do. See ya. Chicken Hawk. Mr. Buttermilk Biscuit himself.
Buttermilk Biscuits.
Happy birthday to him. He said he was having a hard time hearing us. He didn't know if it was the phone or his hearing aids. Bless his heart, been at the doctor today, but hopefully he's getting down to the bottom of it. And yeah, the man. So y'all, if you have maybe he's listening, maybe Chicken Hawk and as he says, Lou Bell are listening. And so if you have a birthday message you would like for me to pass along, send it to me. Or you could call and wish him a happy birthday too. But send it to me. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. That stands for Country Pleasing Sausage. Made right here in Mississippi at Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence. If you ever get a chance to go in there, go, because it's sausage and more. I mean, the butcher market that they have there, it will blow you away. Ask anybody who's been in there. It's hard to explain it to you. You just have to, if you're a food lover, which, let's be honest, most of us are. It's just hard to explain to you what that place is like. You just got to go see it yourself. Hey, you want some baseball? Ball game. Let's talk with Winslow on line 2 of the Davini Equipment phone line. Winslow, happy Thursday. How you doing?
Hey, Matt. I promised Beaver that I would not mention a certain coach or insult him. So the only thing I'm going to say is to Jason in his Arizona, ditto. Okay. What I called you about was Randy Newman.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember the series called Monk?
I do. Yep.
Okay. Randy Newman wrote and sang that song, so that's probably the way I know him best. And of course, long time ago he did Short People Got No Reason to Live.
Right, and I Love L.A., which was a great one.
Yeah. That I think the Dodgers played that during their games and stuff. But what I was calling to remind you about a couple of things. Obviously, Saturday is supposed to be the Ron Polk Ring of Honor with Mike Prophet and Ted Milton and Mitch Moreland going in. And it's going to be like breakfast at Duty Noble. I think they're starting it at 9:30. Okay. Probably so that a couple of years ago, the ceremony was still going on, and Vanderbilt was knocking batting practice balls out there.
I remember that. It went on too long.
But one other thing, Bulldogs are taking over Florida. Obviously, Jake Mangum is getting the big headlines, but we got a couple of Bulldogs. Nate Doan is going to be the opening night starter for the Port St. Lucie Mets, and Cal Stephen is going to be the opening night starter for the Dunedin Blue Jays.
Okay.
So we got some guys that are getting their pro starts down there, and looked at the schedule, and maybe in June you could find Nate Doan and Cal Stephen squaring off. I think that's when their teams play.
Okay, that'd be awesome. I got a question about another. This is one I was thinking of yesterday. What about Rowdy Jordan? What's the update with Rowdy? Is he in AAA?
I need to check on that because, to be honest, the guys that have been gone for several years, I haven't kept up as closely as those, that I covered the last couple of years. And I know that Jerangelo St. The Seattle folks are just fascinated by a guy that can pitch with both hands. But I did find out if what his assignment's going to be this year and what he's going to be doing. But Jim Ellis used to do a lot of that. He kept up with all of the former players, but I don't see as much from him anymore.
Yeah, I think he's probably enjoying retirement. I noticed that too. And I was looking. The school website, you go to hailstate.com and go to the baseball page, and there's one click there, hashtag state to the show. And I can look some stuff up there. It's just, I wonder how updated it is, but I'm going to see what I can find on there also.
Yeah, and that's a good reminder. I need to ask around this weekend to see who all is doing that, because now that all the minor league teams are kicking off, you're going to have a contingent of former players, at practically all the levels.
Right, all of them. Okay, and while I got you, Winslow, so the website says Rowdy Jordan, he's in AAA, Syracuse Mets. So I guess, for an
Is that right? Okay.
That's what it says. And he's, of course, he's an outfielder, but he said he's in Syracuse, so I guess that would mean he himself might be a sprained ankle away from getting a shot at Major League Baseball this year.
Yeah, and if I remember right, Syracuse is the AAA of the Mets because he's 2 levels above Nate Dome because
that's right.
Port St. Lucie is like the A level, and then I think it's the Brooklyn team that Cole Gordon and Jake played together with for a while.
Right. Well, I'm kind of like you. It's really one of the most fun things about sort of the whole Major League system is seeing those guys advance from level to level. Every now and then they'll come swinging through Biloxi or something, and then when they get called up. I don't know how you feel about it, Winslow. Beaver and others kind of roll their eyes at me, but I've had a little bit, almost like I did with Dak and the Cowboys. I didn't really care one way or the other about the Cowboys, but as soon as Dak went, I've watched everything I could from the Cowboys since Dak went there. And I find myself early on now doing the same thing with Jake in Tampa. I can't watch enough Tampa Bay Rays now that Jake's up there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, suddenly all the state fans are telling the rest of the baseball world, we've been trying to tell you this, all you had to do was, And I made a joke the other day. I said, is Jake Mangum what Roy Hobbs would have been like in real life?
That's interesting. Yeah,
there's this.
The natural thing. You know what else? What do you think about this, Winslow? When they showed, or when I saw that opposite side 6-hole slap single from the left side against Paul Skeens he had yesterday in his one hit, it was very Ichiro-like. Like his footwork and his attack and getting out of the box from a left-handed standpoint. He's a unique player as compared to most guys at that level.
Yeah, and give Jake credit. He's never going to hit home runs like Roy Hobbs, but he found a way to get on the field and he found a way to get on base. The old who was it? Willie Keeler that said hit them where they ain't. That's what he's learned to do.
Yep, that's right, no doubt. All right, Winslow, appreciate it. South Carolina coming in. Have you looked at the weather? What do you think?
Well, my wife asked me this morning. She said, "Are they going to change any of the games around?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "It's supposed to rain Saturday." And I said, "Please, God, don't let it rain at 9:30 a.m. Saturday." Because look, I've been looking forward to that Ring of Honor ceremony. A couple of my childhood heroes, are going in, and then of course Mitch Moreland, which I was looking back at some of the old honors and stuff, and Mitch, he was not really the star of those teams, like Ed Easley and some of maybe Brandon Turner or something like that. But you got to give Mitch Moreland a whole lot of credit. When you stay 12 years in the major leagues, you've done something.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, and real quick, that reminds me, too, for those listening, Winslow, I know you've written, pieces and a recent one about that Ron Polk Ring of Honor class going in. Tell people how to find it if they want to read it.
Well, we have feature stories on all three. Been doing that for several years. Go to collegebaseballcentral.net, and you kind of have to scroll down now to find them. But I did Mike Profit and Ted Milton, and then my protege, Bo Carter, he did Mitch Moreland.
Okay, cool.
And, Ted Milton, they say old ball players have got 1,000,001 stories, and I've heard practically all of them that Ted Milton tells, and he was a delight to interview. We talked for over an hour, and when I wrote it up, it went over 3,000 words, and I said, well, I need to trim this thing back. So I went in there, and I wound up with 200 more words than I started with. So, and I asked him, I said, Ted, if I publish all your stories, what are you going to do that day? And he says, oh, I got plenty more. It's like, okay.
Right.
But if you're a fan of some of those teams, and they're finally getting their due, and Mike Profit is going in posthumously, but his widow, Harriet, is the delight to talk to, and probably going to be the first female speaker that they've ever had at the Ring of Honor. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be great. Saturday morning. All right, Winslow, appreciate you, man. Great to hear from you.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep, thank you. So, and following up on that, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but it's really simple, and assuming it's updated actively, which I would imagine that it is. Yeah, it was actually updated yesterday. It's got a date on it. So if you go to hailstate.com and click on baseball, once you get to the baseball page, there's a bunch of links there. Schedule, roster, stats, news, all this. And one of those is State to the Show, which is former players in the minors and the majors. And so updated as of yesterday, what you have is J.P. France pitches for the Astros. Of course, Adam Frazier is the second baseman for the Pirates. He had a 2-for-4 day and drove in a run yesterday in their win over Tampa. Kendall Graveman is pitching for Arizona. Nathaniel Lowe, he was with the Rangers for years and years. This is his first year with the Nats. And I think Nate had a home run. Was it yesterday or the day before? But anyway, Nathaniel Lowe, he's not in Texas. He's with the Nats. Of course, Mangum in Tampa. You got Hunter Renfroe in Kansas City, along with Chris Stratton in Kansas City. And Rooker with the A's. Westberg with the Orioles. And then Woodruff with Milwaukee. Of course, he's hurt and trying to get back from it, so he's not active right now. Okay, and then AAA, former Diamond Dogs in AAA. You've got Eric Cerantola, right-handed pitcher with just amazing ability, like through the roof ceiling, and he was just getting started really as a baseball player in college, and so at times he would have control issues, but then at times he would flash, and you go, oh my goodness. From a prospect standpoint, I don't know they had anybody come through there that was quite as high a ceiling as what he had. He's just not there yet, but he's in AAA. Eric Cerantola, he's from Canada originally. He's in AAA in the Royals organization with the Omaha Storm Chasers. Okay, Gavin Collins, a catcher, he's in AAA for the Cardinals, which is Memphis. Justin Foscue is still in the Rangers organization. He's in AAA in Round Rock. And, of course, has played some Major League Baseball, did last year, but he's starting this year off in AAA. JT Ginn from here in the Metro, drafted by the Mets, traded. He's now in the A's organization. I think did JT get up some last year to the bigs with the A's maybe? But he's starting this year off in AAA and with the Las Vegas Aviators, AAA for the A's. Dakota Hudson has spent a lot of time in the big leagues with the Cardinals, the team that drafted him. But this year, right-handed pitcher Dakota Hudson, he's starting the year off in AAA in the Angels organization, Salt Lake. They are the Salt Lake Bees. Bees a buzz. Rowdy Jordan, as we mentioned, AAA outfielder for the Syracuse Mets. That's in the Mets organization, so he's one step away from the bigs. David Mershon. Okay, so he's starting this year off as a shortstop in the Angels organization in Salt Lake. And 1 year removed from college baseball. He's starting the year off in AAA, and he's a starting shortstop for a AAA baseball team up there. So he's on the same team as Dakota Hudson. Connor Pilkington, he's in the Nationals organization, left-handed pitcher. He's at Rochester in AAA, so he's one step away, and he's pitched some in the bigs before for the White Sox. And Ethan Small, former first-round pick, is a lefty out of state. Brewers took him, he got traded. He's pitched some in the bigs already, but he's in the Giants organization now, and Ethan is starting the year off in AAA in the Sacramento River Cats. All right. Then there's a bunch in AA. Y'all want them? All right, here you go. Guys in AA. Starting this season off in AA minor league baseball. Will Bednar, right-handed pitcher in the Giants organization. He's with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Houston Harding, left-handed pitcher, Angels organization. AA affiliate, Rocket City Trash Pandas. That would be Huntsville, Alabama. KC Hunt is in Biloxi, which is AA for the Brewers. Cameron James is in Montgomery. He's playing for the Montgomery Biscuits. He's the shortstop over there. That's the AA for the Rays. Preston Johnson, pitcher, AA Orioles organization. That's the Chesapeake Bay Sox. Colton Ledbetter, outfielder, lefty hitter. He's also in Montgomery, playing for the Biscuits, AA Rays. Christian McLeod, left-handed pitcher. He's in the Twins organization at Wichita Wind Surge. This is AA. Hunter Stovall, infielder, second baseman. He's in Montgomery. Man, if you want to see some former Bulldogs play, just go watch the Montgomery Biscuits. They're the AA for the Rays. Hunter Stovall's playing second base for them. Andrew Walling, big lefty. He's in the Phillies AA organization, which is Reading. Colby White, Yankees AA, which is Somerset Patriots, and then R.J. Yeager. He's playing shortstop in the Cardinals organization in AA, which is Springfield Cardinals. You go to single A ball. Brooks Auger, Gerangelo Sanja, Tyler Davis, Nate Dome, Jackson Fristow, Tyson Harden, Colby Holcomb, Connor Husak, Dakota Jordan, single A ball for the Giants this year. Aaron Nixon, Cam Schulke, Landon Sims, single A ball for the Diamondbacks. Cade Smith, Cal Steven, and Logan Tanner. Tanner's in the Reds organization. He's with the Dayton Dragons in single A. All right, there you go. There's your update. Rolling along with you, hour 2 on this Thursday. Stick around. Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, is it? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sauces, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast, walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. And they'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here, leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance.
What you think right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt. Let's see. Sven said he's going to watch LSU and Oklahoma today. That's one of the SEC series beginning. The other one is Ole Miss at Kentucky. So they're going to be Thursday through Saturdays. The rest of the league is planning on being Friday through Sunday. Baseball movies. David and Brandon commented on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, would we consider A League of Their Own a baseball movie? Said it was pretty dang good. Well, absolutely I would. Absolutely. That's what it was. They're playing baseball. It's absolutely a baseball movie. And you're right, it is good. It's a good movie. White Denzel says, happy birthday or happy day of birth to Chicken Hawk. Says, you're the man. But Morton and Forrest still stink. Denzel says, also quit trying to run me off the road when I come through Homewood on Mondays. That's oddly specific there. And Denzel. Yeah, I'm going to pass that along to Chicken Hawk if he's listening. Tatted Brad texts the show, says, boy, these Georgia Diamond Dogs are doing a fabulous job of getting all of us excited before getting smoked in the supers. Go Dogs. So is that it? They're going to be regular season champs? Is that what you're saying about them, Brad? Jason, what Winslow was saying was that he agrees with you, but without going into it. He said, he promised Beaver he wouldn't do it, so he just said ditto to you on your thoughts regarding, coaches and evaluations and firing and all that kind of stuff. J-Rock with the ultimate happy birthday wish to Chicken Hawk. He sent us a picture. Somebody has photoshopped together a chicken and a hawk sitting on a limb. It looks like one bird. It's pretty decent job there. Pretty decent Photoshop job. MSU 1980 says, Matt, it's great to hear from our old friend Chicken Hawk. Happy birthday. I always enjoy your calls. By the way, he says, I had my Country Pleasing this morning. I didn't. I knew something was different. I ate it all last night. I meant to get some out of the freezer and let it thaw out overnight so I could have it for breakfast, and I forgot to do it. Okay, and Hunter said, after hearing all those team names, does baseball have the best mascots? You bet they do. You bet. Not close. Now, they sort of, in the baseball having the best names conversation, they sort of dinged their own reputation by allowing the Cleveland Indians to become the Cleveland Guardians. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a disaster. You could have come up with just about anything else. If you had decided, if you're Cleveland and you decided we must change, we must not be the Cleveland Indians anymore, we've got to be something else. You could have come up with just about anything else that would have been better than Guardians. I mean, really, what on earth could they possibly have been thinking that was the right move? I mean, of all, just like you said, Hunter, when you look across the list of minor league franchises, and obviously, okay, they're minor league and smaller markets and stuff, but at least they're memorable. And there's something fun about, I mean, they're selling Montgomery biscuits, hats and shirts and stuff and gear simply because it's kind of funny. At least that's something. They went with the Cleveland Guardians. If you ever needed another example that there are well-educated, meaning they went to school and got paper, well-intentioned, well-paid idiots at the tops of organizations all around us, there is another example right there. Some actual living and breathing people, Hunter, sat around in a room, came up with these ideas, began to settle on Guardians, and they all looked at each other and said, and I quote, yeah, this is a good idea. I mean, how pitiful. 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 Yeah, we got some good ones in the minor leagues. The trash pandas, the jumbo shrimp. But a lot of them are not as quirky and comical as that. They're just good. Anyhow, I digress. Dennis, formerly of Omaha, says, reference the country pleasing spot on your YouTube stream. Have the blisters in the mouth healed from taking a bite out of that sizzling hot piece of sausage. Yeah, hey, Dennis, when I was filming that, I had that sausage on the fire. What's that called? A fire pit? What is that? It's not really a pit. What do you call that thing? But it had a little grill on top. And I was cooking some sausage on it. And the battery in my camera was getting ready to run out. And I knew I got to get this filmed. And I had planned to take a bite of it. And so when I ate it, it was way too hot. And the thing about it is, too, like, you bite into anything juicy, it's way too hot, you're going to burn yourself. Let alone some jalapeno and cheddar sauce, that cheddar cheese, where it not only is it hot, but it kind of sticks to whatever it's burning. Man, it got me. But I'm healed up. I'm good to go. Okay, listen, state fans, listen. Might want to sit down. Somebody asked me to do this, and so I am doing it for you. Here you go. Southeastern Conference baseball statistics in conference games. Now, you've either had 9 or 10 conference games for every team. In fact, only Ole Miss and Texas have played 10, and I don't know how to explain that. But that's what this says according to this thing. But this is conference only statistics. You ready? Hitting. Arkansas, number 1. Number 1 hitting team in a conference. Team batting average of .329. 1 spot ahead of Georgia, who's batting .324 as a team in conference play only. LSU 3rd, Ole Miss 4th. The 5th best hitting team against conference pitching is South Carolina. South Carolina against SEC competition, batting .303. State is 10th or tied for 10th in the conference with Alabama. They're batting .254, almost 50 points lower than South Carolina against SEC competition. Texas A&M and Auburn at the bottom of the league. Team batting. Pitching. Against SEC teams. Texas is number 1. They've got a team ERA of 3.29 against SEC schools. Number 2 is Tennessee. Number 3 is Arkansas. Again, this is against SEC. You've had 3 weekends. Not all the competition is the same. This is early stats. Early stats don't tell you everything. 4th best pitching against the league right now is Alabama. They have faced Tennessee and Vanderbilt, number 5. You've got State 11th in the SEC, Ole Miss 14th in pitching versus SEC competition. And fielding, number 1, best fielding team in the SEC play, Georgia, fielding at a clip of 994. Number 2, Arkansas. Number 3, LSU. 4, Florida. They can do one thing, and that's field. And 5 is Tennessee. If you notice, Arkansas is either 1 or 2 in all 3 categories. The Rebels of Ole Miss are 10th in fielding, and the Mississippi State Bulldogs are dead last in fielding percentage in the SEC against SEC competition at 955, 0.95, so, or 955. 13 errors in 9 games. This is in SEC play for State. 13 errors in 9 games. Like, you compare that to Georgia, they've got 2 errors in 9 games. State's got 13. Missouri has committed 12 errors. Kentucky and Oklahoma, 11 apiece. Texas A&M, 10th. And then everybody else in single digits. State's at 13 errors in 9 games. These are stats for against SEC competition. Now, overall, so this includes all of your non-conference prior to SEC play and then in the midweeks and everything. And those numbers of games vary greatly too, and so does the competition. But if you look overall stats, not just against SEC competition, LSU is the number 1 hitting team in the league. Georgia 2, Arkansas 3, State's at number 7, Ole Miss at 11. Look at pitching. Tennessee's 1, Texas 2, State's at number 6, Ole Miss at 14. And fielding, Arkansas 1, Georgia 2, State's down there at number 14 overall in fielding. This would be against everybody, overall competition. Ole Miss at 13, State at 14. So, from a fielding perspective, State's just not very good. All right, a little bit of time left, and we come back right after this. Stick around.
With Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? Fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the
here because you've got Matt Wyatt.
Oh, I am starving.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
Back with you. All right, a little bit of time left with you here on this Thursday. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire. Customer inspired. Check them out, cspire.com. Sven says Georgia doesn't count because they play in a middle school venue. Well, maybe on the offensive numbers. The fielding, they're fielding in a really good clip, not committing errors. Only 2 errors in 9 SEC games. But yeah, maybe home runs and otherwise. Had a kid for Georgia last year hit the most home runs anybody, didn't they? Yep. I believe so. Hey, so there's a couple I missed here. Jason, when I explained to him what Winslow was doing, he was just basically saying ditto. He agrees with you, Jason, on the fire the coach versus don't fire the coach stuff. Jason said, oh, okay. He agreed with my rebuttal to the Lamonas won that national championship with X's players nonsense on Mr. Jake's show yesterday, and how utterly stupid it is to credit that to a guy who was there for roughly 8 minutes. That's Jason's text regarding all of that. J-Rock, who sent me the Photoshop of a chicken and a hawk together, said State struck out 40 times against LSU. He says, I sure hope South Carolina doesn't have strikeout guys. I don't know what they have. I didn't pay. They hit it pretty well. South Carolina has been hitting the ball pretty well against SEC teams, but I didn't see what their pitching stats were. I didn't look closely enough. Yeah, and regarding fielding, Dog Tired in Florence said, boy, that's a far cry from 0 errors in the College World Series. It might be something to look into. Yeah, I know. I mean, who knows? That conventional thinking, it doesn't always apply. There's lots of nuance there. It's never as plain and simple as you and I think it is on the outside looking in at any of these coaches or any of these teams or whatever, these aspects. But conventional wisdom, I guess, would lead you to believe fielding one of those things where for players at that level, as much as anything else, it is a reps and a practice deal. I mean, that's what it is. If you're athletes at that level of athlete, it just, you would think, anybody can tell me I'm wrong, and certain people tell me I'm wrong, I'll listen. But right now, you would just think, for guys at that level, if you put in more work and more reps and more practice on those little things in the fielding work, the boring fielding work, then it's going to pay off in that you field it at a high clip. But if you're getting outworked, or if you're neglecting that, you may struggle with it. You will struggle with it. That's what it would tell me. But hey, what do I know? I know this. There are 2 Major League Baseball games going on right now. One of them involves the Baltimore Orioles and former Diamond Dog Jordan Westburg. He's 1 for 3, drove in a run, had a single back in the third. It drove one in, and there were 2 on base, I think first and second, so single up the chute, score from second. He's 1 for 3 today, but they trail the Red Sox 5-3 right now in the 6th inning. There's another game going on in Philadelphia. Hey, Beaver, you know what? And I might as well hit the music because it applies. This is, I don't even know if this is good or bad, but I kind of feel like it's childish of me, but I can't help it. I can't think about the Phillies playing a game in Philadelphia without thinking about Mac and Chase Utley and the letter he wrote and Charlie in the green man suit and all of that. I am forever impressed enough by that, apparently, from Always Sunny, that's what I think about on sight when I look at the Philadelphia Phillies logo. Am I crazy?
Nope, not at all. I like that your brain goes to that. And that letter he wrote. Man. Dear Chase, I think I can call you Chase. Because, oh man, he said things like, I know I can't throw as fast as you, but I think you'd be impressed with my speed. Did you have a good relationship with your dad? Me neither. We should be friends because I think our friendship would be a real home run. Oh, you have great hair. You run fast.
Yeah, I love your hair. You run fast. Did you have a good relationship with your father? Me neither.
And he put stickers on it.
That's it. D goes, oh, they're stickers. Oh. It says in the letter, I pulled it up, Beaver, in the letter, that Mac on Always Sunny in Philadelphia wrote to Chase Utley and wanted to deliver it to him at a Phillies ball game. These are all things we can talk about and more. I know you have been getting my letters because I know you would write back if you did. I hope you write back this time and we can become good friends. I'm sure our relationship would be a real home run. Oh, that's great.
And that same episode, because remember, Dee wanted to get down on the field and go kiss. Who was it? It was the man known as the Flying Hawaiian.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember who that is.
She wanted to go get down. Anyway, so she said the name, and Mac goes, no, you're kissing Chase Utley, and that's it.
Good heavens. Yeah. It's sad that made such an impression on me, Beaver, when I saw that, and I laughed at it, that now when I think of a Phillies game in Philadelphia during the day, that's it, Jeff. Jeff just said it. He's on Facebook. Jeff just said it. Shane Victorino. That's who
Yeah.
That's who she was going after. Man.
Also, and that's so many. Oh man, this episode so good. Like,
yeah.
Also Matt claimed that he could scale the building. He could scale the stadium, climb up, and get in that way.
Craziness. How do they come up with that stuff? The writing is just incredible. But it's
know what? Now that we're here, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry,
let me hear it. Go on, let it rip.
You got my dots connecting. My dots are connecting now to an entirely different episode later in the series. See if you remember this one. They took the wallet. There was a man passed out in the bar, and they took his wallet, and it had tickets to the Phillies game, but it was in a suite.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they were up there, and they were wondering, okay, well, if someone comes in, they're going to know we're not this guy, so how do we escape? Mac immediately jumps to, he's going to jump off. He's going to jump out of the suite down into the stands. And Dennis told him, well, no, it's danger. You can't do that. And he goes, right, I'm a professional. I will tuck and roll.
That'll solve it.
And Dennis challenged him again, and Matt goes straight to, Dennis, if I had a gun, I would be spraying bullets as I fall.
See, that's it. Whoever is responsible for writing the character of Mac, okay, knows intimately, Beaver, what it's like to grow up as a kid who watched way, way, way too much TV and associates everything with like stuff that can't be done in reality. Roundhouse kicks.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah, I'm going to tuck and roll. That'll do it. Works on TV. That's fantastic. I'm glad I got you going there. Hey, Beaver, see if this gets you going. Today is also the first Thursday in April, which is always National Burrito Day. National Burrito Day. Today, the first Thursday in April, National Burrito Day. Beaver, we celebrate the tasty and versatile Mexican dish wrapped in a tortilla. Now, Beaver, I don't think you or anybody else really needs a definition, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. A burrito is a heavy tortilla wrapped around meat, cheese, tomato, rice, beans, vegetables, and sauces. Like many other tortilla dishes, the burrito is flexible. The cook chooses the meat fillings from ground beef, shredded chicken, shredded beef, shredded pork. The same applies to the bean choices, often ranging from black, red, whole, refried. Once again, the flexibility of choice applies to the veggies, allowing the cook to grill the vegetables or keep them fresh. Spices such as cumin, chili powder, oregano give the burrito an authentic Mexican flavor. For added crunch, chimichangas are burritos that have been deep fried. How big a old boy are you? Y'all have a burrito on me, and we'll put the ball down, line back up, do it all again tomorrow. Same time, same place. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here in the Bureau, that is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. We'll see you tomorrow. See ya!